Guys, I hate to say it, but I think this movie is an overhyped teenage wet dream that is getting way too high of praise for what it actually delivered.
Wait, no.
Clark, where are we?
Not saying that it sucks, I just think people are overlooking its issues. I walked out of this theater feeling a bit underwhelmed because everyone has been preaching about how hyped they are for this movie. You got film theorists making videos on it, Wendigoon made a 3-hour documentary ahead of its release, and world-renowned movie critic and critically acclaimed star of the Hunger Games, Charles White, calling it really good. I never really cared too much about the Backrooms stuff on YouTube. I think the lore is kind of cool and the overall horror concept has a lot of potential, but I'm not some fanatic about it. I haven't played any of the games or fully watched any of the videos online, so really I went in with an open mind. We follow Clark, portrayed by Chiwetel Ejiofor, a divorced and failed architect who runs a furniture store. After discovering a strange light coming from the basement of his store wall, he falls through an invisible doorway and finds himself in the back rooms. Seeing this as a potential monetary discovery, he enlists the help of his employees to explore the back rooms together. But as some of y'all already know, this infinitely liminal space may have something lurking in the dark. Let's get the positives out of the way first. The technical side of things for this film is awesome. I love the look, the aesthetic, the cinematography, everything from a production standpoint is fantastic. For the most part. I say for the most part because it very much felt like a movie directed by a 20-year-old, and I mean that both positively and negatively. I really love how clean this movie looks, and it seemed like they didn't try to emulate or at least go too far with the whole film look that everyone on YouTube is obsessed with, because this movie takes place in the 90s and almost every single annoying filmmaker on YouTube has some dumbass tutorial on
How to capture the film look.
Of course, they save the film analog look for later when a character brings their own camera into the back rooms, but that's a point I'll get into later. The back rooms themselves were awesome. It felt creepy, eerie, endless. The details of things being merged with one another is just really cool, and every corner the characters turn, nothing is normal. Classic Uncanny Valley effect, and it always rocks. The film does a great job at making the backrooms feel like an infinitely expanding space that's trying to consume whatever's inside it. You never know what's behind a door because each room can be different and freakier, and this effect is heightened by the performances. Chiwetel is awesome as this desperate businessman trying to crack the code of the backrooms. Renata Reinsve portrays Clark's therapist Mary, who is concerned for him and follows into the backrooms. They definitely try as much as they can to give their characters as much depth the film needs, but their performances are unfortunately held back with a script that definitely needed some more work. There is this huge exposition dump towards the third act of the film that just felt like a slap to the face. I don't know why they decided to include that there. It felt very not A24-like, because since when did anyone need an explanation as to what the backrooms is or how it may potentially function? Explaining how something works in a horror movie usually goes wrong because it ruins how the mystery of a thing creates fear and tension. And while the exposition dump didn't ruin everything, it just made things all the more confusing. It was unnecessary and definitely slowed down the film, which was already a slow burn. The movie starts with Clark's exploration of the backrooms, and then it transitions into Mary's search for Clark, which isn't just a transition but also a time jump. And without spoiling too much, something happens to Clark that makes absolutely zero fucking sense. I really wish Mary wasn't a pivotal character in this movie. I wish we just stuck with Clark and watched how he navigated the backrooms, because those were the best scenes in the movie. Every scene in the backrooms is what I wanted, but this movie feels like it's trying not to be the backrooms. It's trying to be something more meaningful or metaphorical. Not to say that this movie can't have those things, but the exposition dump just spells everything out and ruins what could have been a fascinating exploration of self-destruction. We also get a couple flashbacks with Mary, which only confused me more because as the film progressed, I found myself wondering, what was the point of that? What was the point of this plot line that ultimately didn't go anywhere? And if there's one thing that pisses me off in a movie, it's when characters are moving like slugs in an intense situation. Some crazy shit is happening, you're getting your ass chased down, and instead of hustling, you spend several beautiful seconds looking back. I just wanted to fucking scream at this dumbass bitch to run! Fucking run! Stop turning around to look! What are you waiting for? Fucking go! It's very clear that Kane Parsons didn't have the final say on the script because having seen some of his stuff, he never would have included that exposition scene. He never would have some chick slowly run for her life. Elements like this are extremely frustrating and only hurt the movie more. It breaks my immersion and makes me not want to root for the characters. I wish we had more time with Clark in the Backrooms. This movie begs to be longer, maybe just 15 to 20 more minutes of development. Not to be some psychological exploration of a man dealing with divorce, but a horror film about someone trapped within an infinite space. There is an analog cam sequence which was pretty awesome. That 100% felt like Kane Parsons in full creative control. It was definitely a sequence for the fans and provided audiences with more to see of the Backrooms. I just wish it wasn't so short-lived. Overall, Backrooms is an alright horror flick that doesn't exactly deliver on its own premise. I was on board for the first half of the movie and then the second half just kinda jumps off a cliff. I think this is a great first feature for Kane Parsons that shows his talent. The movie unfortunately just had a weak script that left me frustrated with an ending that didn't really inspire me. Backrooms gets a 8 out of 8. Alright, that's enough of me. I'll catch you guys next time.
Soviet test missile